For the past 5 years, I had this idea that the most important thing in life is to spend your time well. But despite trying to do so, I constantly failed to achieve my goals and felt like I was wasting my life away. So lately, I decided to track every hour of my time spent working in a bid to find out what my life is really like. I started off by building a simple automation that allows me to record the time I started working on something and the time I completed it. Each task has a title like create a video script and an associated project. The duration is then determined by subtracting the start time from the end time. And with that, I started collecting some data. Let's take a look at the results. Consider this graph where I group how I spend my time in categories. 65% of my time was spent on work or attending meetings, whether it's from my corporate job or my side projects. 25% of my time was spent on leisure, whether it's watching Netflix, playing games with friends, or going out. And the remaining 10% of time is spent on exercising or learning something new. While I was not surprised, the data was definitely concerning. I was spending so little time on exercising and learning. These are things I always said mattered to me, but the data told a different story. It's one thing to say that I value something, but it's another thing entirely to actually spend time on it. This was the first reality check. I realized that what I prioritize in my head is often quite different with what I actually prioritize with my time. And unless I started tracking my time, I wouldn't have noticed the gap. Breaking it down by project was even more revealing. There were a couple of projects I was actively working on that I really wanted to see succeed. But despite spending so much time on some of them, I often barely made any progress. For example, I spent about 100 hours on this project called Joseph.io, which is basically this YouTube channel that I'm building right now. But when I actually look into the tasks that I've done, I realized that a lot of time was actually spent on tasks that didn't move the needle. Busy work, planning that led to nowhere, or simply getting distracted. There's this tendency that we have to feel busy in order to feel productive. But busy and productive are completely different things. I could spend an entire day responding to messages, planning, doing little tasks here and there. At the end of that day, I'll feel really exhausted, like I worked really hard. But did I do anything that actually made me any progress? Usually not. What I learned that tracking your time isn't about trying to be more productive or trying to make better use of your time. It's about being honest with yourself. I think that's the biggest lesson that I took away from this entire experiment, not time management tricks or tips. Before this, I often told myself stories. I work really hard. I never have time for the gym. I am so busy. We all have these narratives about how we spend our time running in our heads, but are they actually true? We overestimate how much time we work and underestimate how much time we actually waste. There's something powerful about seeing your time laid out in front of you. It removes all the excuses and rationalizations that you have throughout the day. The truth is, we have more time than we actually think we have. The more important question is, are we spending on the right things? And I think that most of us, if we are being honest, will find that we are not. Not because we are lazy or bad at time management, but because we never actually looked at where our time went. So if you've ever felt like time is slipping away, or that you constantly feel busy but never make any progress, try tracking your time for a week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.